God bless you. Exodus chapter 1. And the beginning of Exodus tells us a story of Joseph's family have all passed away now. Joseph has died, and his brothers and his father and his relatives are all passed away. And a period of time goes by, and the people multiply in the land of Egypt. Then about 400 years have passed, and the king of Egypt, a new king, a new pharaoh, he doesn't remember Joseph. He doesn't remember the dream of the previous king, and he doesn't remember what God done for his nation. He forgets about Joseph, and he forgets about what God had done, and he makes a commandment. He says that all the children should be killed. All the children who are born male shall die. And it strikes me here, this happens so many times in history. If you look at England for an example, a lot of people today, they forget that this country was built upon Christian principles. The justice system is built upon a Christian idea of justice from the Bible. Charities are built from Christian principles and ideas. Most of the charities we have today, the old ones, started with Christian institutions. The orphanages started with a Christian man in Bristol, George Muller, getting children and putting them in a home and looking after them. Even the matches that we have today, you look at a match, get a match in your hand today, a red match. That match used to be yellow. It used to be yellow. The material for making a yellow match was much cheaper than making one for a red. And what a Christian man did, he opened a factory and he made the red matches so the workers from the other factory could leave and still have a job, because the fumes, the toxic fumes of the yellow match, what they was making, was killing the workers. But back then, in the 18th century, people didn't care about people. They didn't care about the workers. All they cared about was the pound, how much money they could earn. But people today forget that Christians started all these things. They forget what Christians have done in this nation. And they're not interested. They don't care. As a matter of fact, people today don't want Christians in this country. They don't want Christianity in this country. They don't want the God of Christians. That is the truth. They do not want the God of the Bible. They'll accept every other God, every other type of religion, but they do not want the God of the Bible. Just like Pharaoh in these days. Pharaoh gave a commandment that all the male children should die. And how do people today try to corrupt or stop the spread of the gospel today? They start in the schools. You're not allowed to teach about Christian values. They start by teaching children rubbish. They start by teaching children things like, it's okay to like another boy. It's okay to like a girl if you're a girl. You can be whatever you want to be. They start with the children. If they get the children, they get everything. So then we read a little bit further on that God blessed these Egyptian women with their own families because they were godly and they treated the Jewish people well. Now this goes back to Abraham. This goes back to the promise that God made to Abraham in Genesis chapter 12, 13 and 14, that those who curse you I will curse, and those who bless you I will bless. Here we see God keeping his promise. Here we see God keeping his word, that to these Egyptian women, these midwives, he is blessing them because they are being good to his people. And even today, in the world that we live in today, when people who are not saved, when they be kind, when they be generous to other Christians, when they show mercy and grace to other Christians, God shows grace and mercy to them. Why? Because Christians are God's children, and God shows mercy to those who shows mercy to his children. That's chapter 1. God willing, tomorrow we'll have a look at chapter 2.